I'm perfectly fine. Chen Xiao nodded and exited the hospital room. His rapid rise to success had resulted in a peculiar situation. Although he had amassed considerable wealth, his network remained somewhat limited. For instance, he found it challenging to seek an expert for a follow-up examination. After contemplating, he decided to make a phone call. Hello, Brother Tang. Do you know anyone with connections at the North Province People's Hospital? Tang Xiaofei responded. What happened? Is someone ill? My father sustained some injuries and needs to consult an expert for a follow-up, but I can't secure an appointment. Oh, I see. That is quite far from me, and I lack connections there. Perhaps only Qin Jie might know someone. All right, I understand. Thank you, Brother Tang. Don't mention it. Call me anytime if you need assistance. Will do. After hanging up, Chun Xiao felt somewhat exasperated. He had initially hesitated to ask Yin Bingqin for help, but he was swiftly proven wrong. When he reached Yin Bingqin, he straightforwardly stated, Sister Qin, I have a favor to ask. My father is at the North Province People's Hospital and needs to schedule a follow-up with a specialist. Upon hearing it concerned family, Yin Bingqin set aside her playful demeanor. Is uncle all right? Currently, he seems fine, but we want to ensure there are no lingering effects. Understood. Please send me the bed number, and I will arrange for someone to visit shortly. Thank you, Sister Qin. I'll treat you to dinner when you return. Let us not be formal. I'll go contact the doctor now. Goodbye. Goodbye. When Wang Li and Zhang San returned to the hospital room after their discussion, a doctor entered shortly thereafter. She possessed an exquisite beauty, adorned with black-framed glasses that lent her an air of intellectual allure. With a light touch of makeup and her dark hair neatly pinned up, her white coat was filled to the brim. Excuse me, who is the boyfriend of Yin Bingqin? Chapter 141. Dr. Gan Chun Xiao muttered to himself. I knew this woman wouldn't rest until she stirred up some trouble. As Chun Xiao observed the inquiring gazes of Wang Li and Chen Jiangwo, he spoke. Hello, I'm a friend of Yin Bingqin. The beautiful doctor shifted her attention, smiling as she remarked, I am a high school classmate of Yin Bingqin. I didn't expect her boyfriend to be quite handsome. Chun Xiao pondered. If he were to deny this relationship now, would the doctor become less attentive due to their distant connection? He decided it was prudent not to hastily refute her claim. Glancing at the nameplate on her white coat, he addressed her, Dr. Gan, my father's leg requires a follow-up examination. What do you think? No problem. Please follow me, she replied. Fortunately, Dr. Gan did not press further on the matter. She personally led Chun Xiao and the others to the examination room. It was evident that having connections within the hospital facilitated matters. With the results indicating everything was normal, Chun Xiao felt a weight lifted. Chen Jiangwo was recovering well and could be discharged today. Seizing a moment of privacy, Chun Xiao took a small bag prepared in advance from Lin Yanran, saying, Dr. Gan, a token of my appreciation. Gan Mishue glanced down and noticed the bag contained a significant stack of cash, estimated to be in the tens of thousands. Chen Xiao, Yin Bingqin and I are close friends. This gesture seems rather excessive, she said, taken aback by the gift. Chen Xiao was momentarily stunned, realizing the depth of their friendship. Being a close confidant of Yin Bingqin likely meant that Gan Mishue was not lacking in financial means, yet felt remiss not to express gratitude after her considerable assistance. I must have overstepped, he admitted, handing the bag back to Lin Yanran. He added with a smile, let us find a time to have a meal together. You must allow me an opportunity to express my thanks. Gan Mishue readily agreed. All right, in about a week, you can bring your father to remove the cast. I'm off next week. It's a deal, Chen Xiao confirmed. After bidding farewell to Dr. Gan, he completed the discharge paperwork for Chen Jiangwo, and the family began their journey back to Lan County. Chen Xiao and Lin Yanran occupied the front seat of the car, while Wang Li accompanied Chen Jiangwo in the spacious business vehicle, looking rather bewildered. Old Chen, is this really our son? She questioned. Chen Jiangwo took a moment to contemplate before responding with certainty, yes, indeed. Wang Li shot him a disapproving glance. What do you mean by that? Is that the answer I was looking for? Chen Jiangwo suggested, let's discuss this when we get home. He has just returned and is quite exhausted, with no suitable place to converse. Wang Li sighed, surveying the luxurious vehicle, her mind wandering. Meanwhile, Manager Liu, who had been unceremoniously expelled from the hospital, limped back to the company in Lan County. Jinping, what has happened to you? He inquired. Liu Jinping, with a sorrowful expression, replied, Uncle, you must help me. I went to the hospital to persuade Wang Li to sign the compensation agreement. But not only did she refuse, she had me thrown out. My hip still hurts from the fall. Zhao Dahua, adorned with a large gold chain and slick-back hair, darkened his expression. What? She dares to refuse? Send the security team to the hospital to pay her a visit and make her understand the consequences of defying authority. Understood, Lu Jinping replied eagerly, but quickly regained her composure, adding, but, uncle, her son has returned, and he brought several people with him. Umph. What do I care if it's her son or daughter? He retorted. In the quaint realm of Lan County, everyone is compelled to play the subordinate role. Lu Jinping regained her confidence, proclaiming, Uncle is indeed formidable. Zhao Dahua reveled in Lu Jinping's flattery and, cradling his ample belly, beckoned, Jinping, do come in my office. There's a project I wish for us to discuss in depth. Lu Jinping hesitated, suggesting, Uncle, perhaps tomorrow? Young Zhao is returning tonight. No trouble at all, he replied. I'll make a call to send him to Siberia to explore new markets. After more than an hour of travel, the convoy finally entered the precincts of Lan County. As the vehicle approached the city's outskirts, memories surged through Chunshao like a tidal wave. This small county town bore witness to all the joys and sorrows of his adolescence. Stepping into this familiar locale stirred an abundance of emotions and recollections. Friends, brothers, and confidants had all shared laughter here, yet the pangs of regret loomed large. Bonds once forged in solemn oaths had gradually faded with time and distance. Yet the sincerity of those feelings remained tucked away in the depths of his heart, never forgotten. Upon crossing a grand bridge, the county town emerged ahead. Beneath the bridge, on one of the piers, lay the inscription of a vow Chan Shao had etched in his youth for someone dear. Though the passage of time and the elements had weathered the inscription, the words remained legible. The wheels of the vehicle crushed the cheap promises beneath them as they sped past, leaving them far behind, lost to sight. Returning once more, Chen Xiao felt not only nostalgia, but also a newfound sense of dominion over the small town. He had discovered that Lan County's revenue for 2009 had reached an impressive 19.8 billion, surpassing the cash he held in his own account. When an individual possesses cash that exceeds the annual income of their city, the sensation is nothing short of extraordinary. Goodness, my hometown is not so impressive after all, Lin Yinran thought, rolling her eyes discreetly. It was her first encounter with someone who looked down upon a city, and the most remarkable aspect was that he truly had the credentials to do so. Chen Xiao instructed the driver to halt at the entrance of the county's most upscale hotel. Yinran, please reserve a few rooms. The conditions are quite limited. We will settle in for now. Certainly, boss, she replied. Wang Li alighted from the car behind, asking, son, why not return home instead? Chen Zhao's family resided in a village 30 kilometers from the county seat. The house is unkempt, and conditions are modest. Let's settle here first. I have matters to discuss before we plan our next steps. Wang Li glanced at the upscale Longquan Hotel, which appeared quite lavish in her eyes, remarking, is it necessary to book such an expensive hotel? While it may seem costly at 198 yuan a night to Chen Xiao, it was insignificant. However, for Wang Li, the expense of 4 rooms for a single night equated to nearly a month's worth of living expenses sent to Chen Xiao. With a smile, Chen Xiao urged, come on. Mom, I have important matters to discuss with you. After obtaining the keys, he guided Wang Li, with Lei Yong pushing Chen Zhengwo behind them, to their rooms. Once everything was settled, Chen Xiao addressed the others. You all may return to your rooms and rest. Yes, boss, they replied. After the 3 left, they closed the door to Chen Zhao's room. Wang Li, with a look of astonishment, pointed at the doorway. They called you. Chen Xiao moved a chair and sat down, preparing to lay everything bare. Mom, indeed, I'm their boss. Chen Zhengwo, who had learned of this earlier than Wang Li, spoke calmly. Explain yourself. What have you accomplished at school? Chapter 142. Who regards 100 million as a minor goal? Chen Xiao could not divulge the details of his rebirth and could only describe it succinctly. Essentially, I established a financial company last semester, primarily engaging in stock trading, and I made a bit over 100 million. Is that all? The couple, expecting a lengthy discourse, inquired. Yes, that's it. Nothing particularly complicated. Wang Li pressed further. How much did you earn to afford such a large entourage? Chen Xiao pondered how to present the figure of 3.9 billion in a more palatable manner. After a moment of contemplation, he had a sudden inspiration and said, Mom, suppose someone considers making 100 million as a small goal. Wang Li rolled her eyes. Stop joking. What normal person would regard 100 million as a small goal? Chen Xiao countered. From a mother's perspective, this statement holds no flaw. No, I'm merely making an analogy. What if one viewed 100 million as a small target? Wang Li relented. Fine, continue. What about you achieving a small goal? Chen Xiao replied, I achieved 39 small goals. 39 small goals? Wang Li found a chair to settle herself. The room fell silent as Chen Xiao observed Wang Li and Chen Zhengwo's eyes widening in disbelief. Is that true? Chen Jiangwo asked. Chen Xiao nodded. Indeed. Wang Li queried, is it genuinely true? Chen Xiao affirmed, it is indeed true. Even if it is true, I find it hard to believe, Wang Li remarked. Chen Xiao contemplated, realizing that anyone who returned home after summer break to tell their parents they made 3.9 billion during the school year would undoubtedly be met with skepticism. He took a moment to open his text messages. Although he only had over 100 million in his account, it was sufficient for proof. Mom, look, this is my pocket money. Most of the funds are in the company account. Wang Li, with a hint of disbelief, took the phone, leaning in with Chen Jiangwo to examine it. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, million, billion? Their minds momentarily faltered. They had seen such lengthy numbers before, but only as phone or ID numbers. Never had they imagined that money could be represented in such an extensive format. Chen Xiao even went to Lei Yong's room to fetch a bag. Here, 500,000 in cash. There are more bags in the car. The sight of the vibrant red bills laid out before them compelled Wang Li and Chen Jiangwo to accept the reality. However, the notion that their son had made 3.9 billion through stock trading felt surreal. But how did you suddenly become proficient in stock trading and earn so much? Bang Lin Kidat. Chen Xiao had not considered how to respond to that question. Ultimately, Liu Xin provided him with the inspiration he needed. I took a macroeconomics elective. It's quite beneficial for stock trading. Wang Li and Chen Jiangwo, lacking deeper understanding, simply remembered the phrase macroeconomics. Upon realizing that the two had essentially accepted the situation, Chen Xiao produced 2 cards and remarked, stop pondering over it. 3.9 billion is merely a figure. What truly matters are the tangible items one acquires. Unless you accuse me of favoritism, each of you shall receive 10 million as pocket money. Chen Jiangwo, exhilarated, rubbed his hands against his thighs, sensing that he might ride on his son's coattails to ascend the pinnacle of life. However, just as he reached out, the 2 cards had already found their way into Wang Li's possession. Son, I shall keep this for you, she declared. Chen Jiangwo interjected. But Wang Li shot him a glare. What do you mean by I? The money your son earned should not be squandered by anyone. This 20 million shall serve as a safety net. Should any unforeseen circumstances arise, it will be available for emergencies. Chen Xiao was at a loss for words. Mom, this money is intended for you to spend, not to save. Wang Li clutched the 2 cards tightly, responding, this money will be reserved for your graduation, for buying a house when you marry, and for my grandchild's milk powder, education, and future family expenses. As she spoke, Wang Li began to realize the absurdity of her reasoning. Would this lead to an endless cycle? Ha ha, Mom, you're thinking too far ahead. They will have their own lives, and you'll have yours. Spend freely. I will ensure you receive 20 million every year. Yet, despite Chen Zhao's persuasive efforts, Wang Li would only consent to allocate 1 million towards purchasing a house and a car. Chen Xiao sighed. What is the point of buying a house in the county? I'll buy you both a villa in Jining, hire a few caretakers, and you can live comfortably. Wang Li responded, don't be ridiculous. We're not going anywhere. Your grandfather is still here. He is old, and it's hard for him to leave his homeland. With a slight sigh, Chen Xiao realized that improving their living conditions would require his direct involvement. Once a person acquires wealth, even if it remains untouched, their spirit and confidence are markedly different. Many challenges transform from formidable obstacles into easily surmountable hurdles, allowing one's thoughts to be considerably more expansive. Wang Li recalled Dr. Gan's words from the hospital. Son, now that you have money, I have no objections to you dating. When will you bring that girl home for me to meet? Chen Xiao replied, Mom, Doctor, Gan was just rambling. Don't overthink it. I don't have a girlfriend. Wang Li remained unconvinced. Don't be shy. You're of age now. In the past, marriage at your age was quite normal. Find someone good, aim to settle down by graduation, and then have 2 children in 3 years, 3 children in 5 years. While I'm still young, I can help you raise them. Chen Xiao realized he was about to face a significant dilemma. His parents would pressure him to marry after graduation. However, he had resolutely decided against marriage. What was he to do? Well, that's my situation. You two should rest. I still have work to attend to. Chen Xiao decided it was best to make his exit. He would figure things out as they came, believing that a way would present itself eventually. As he stepped outside, he fortuitously encountered Lin Yanran, who appeared flustered, clutching her chest, her face pale with shock. Yanran, what are you doing? Lin Yanran, with a dazed expression, replied, Boss, I was eavesdropping. Chen Xiao was taken aback. What? No, it's not what you think. Realizing she had misspoken, Lin Yanran hurriedly waved her hand. I wasn't eavesdropping. It was Sister Su Tang who called to inquire about the situation. I wanted to consult you on how to respond. Chen Xiao found her innocent expression amusing, reminiscent of the curiosity that led her to hide under the desk earlier. Just reply truthfully, he instructed. Lin Yinran lowered her head and replied, "Oh, okay, got it." After Chen Xiao finished speaking, he turned and walked away. Chapter 143. Cotton Futures Thunder. Come with me for a moment. Yes, boss. As they stepped onto the street, Chen Xiao observed the bustling crowd, and memories of his childhood in the county town instantly became vivid. Although the town was still not wealthy, with only 2 main streets and remaining a poor county, it did not diminish its profound impact on Chen Xiao's soul. The town's modesty was inconsequential, as long as Chen Xiao was willing. He could easily bring some enterprises here and elevate it from its impoverished status in no time. The two walked along the town streets, visiting the middle school he had attended and the high school filled with cherished memories. They indulged in the snacks he used to enjoy and retraced the paths he walked to school. Thunder, do you think I should change this little town? Or let it remain as it is in my memories? Thunder grinned. Boss, you could do as you please. Such a simple statement struck a chord with Chen Xiao. Indeed, he could do as he wished. How delightful it was to have wealth. Everything in this little town was quite ordinary. It was the stories and lives of those who once resided here that imbued it with sentiment. While lost in thought, Chen Xiao's phone rang. Hello, and Zhong. What is up? Boss, I've gathered intelligence that Shi Zhongfu's team is currently shorting cotton futures. Chen Xiao raised an eyebrow, impressed that Zhong had penetrated Shi Zhongfu's core team. Understood. You've done well. Is the funding sufficient? And Zhong chuckled. I haven't spent much yet. It's more than enough. Good. Then I'll ask Su Tang to transfer 200,000 to you. And Zhong, no, it's unnecessary, boss. That's settled then, goodbye. After hanging up, Chen Xiao pondered for a moment before calling Su Tang to instruct her to transfer the funds to Zhong, then shifted to the main topic. Su Tang, please open another domestic futures account as a backup. Su Tang, ever the diligent worker, asked no questions and simply got to work. After discussing business, she transitioned to another topic. How is your uncle's recovery? Everything is going well. It should be smooth sailing. I should be able to return before the school year starts. Thank you for your efforts during this time. Su Tang smiled. It's no trouble at all. The market has been calm lately, and the company is running smoothly. You can rest easy at home, boss. Call me anytime if you need anything. All right, let's wrap this up. Okay, goodbye, boss. Goodbye. Chen Xiao contemplated the idea of shorting cotton. Unfortunately, the concealed information had always revolved around the stock market, with no mention of futures. He wondered if that would change in the future. After pondering for a while with no clear direction, he dug out Shi Yunru's number. Hello, my dear. Have you missed me? Shi Yunru's voice remained as sweet as ever. Of course. I heard your uncle is hospitalized. Do you need me to come and take care of him? Chen Xiao felt a warmth in his heart, but ultimately declined. If his parents were to see Shi Yunru, they would undoubtedly consider her as a prospective daughter-in-law, while there would be no issue with her being seen as such. The question arose, what would happen when they pressed for grandchildren? Shi Yunru had no desire to bear children. No need. Just stay at home and wait for me. Once I finish my tasks, I will fly back, he said. All right then, she replied. I won't say more. I have some matters to attend to, Chen Xiao stated. Oh, then you get busy, but remember to think of me, she responded. After hanging up the phone, Chen Xiao smiled and said to Lei Ting, let us go for a stroll at Donglin Temple. Sure, boss. Should I drive? Chen Xiao pondered for a moment and decided, let us take a taxi. All right. Lei Ting raised his hand to hail a taxi. In this era, in a small county, the taxis were mostly those diminutive 0.8-liter microcars. Even these were considered quite luxurious, with many 3-wheeled vehicles available, starting at merely 2 yuan. In Chapter 144, titled Lanshan Villa, Lei Ting's robust frame filled the passenger seat of the taxi. Chen Xiao couldn't help but chuckle as he chose to sit in this taxi, relishing the reminiscence of a bygone era. Donglin Temple is the most renowned tourist attraction in Lanqing. While labeled as a tourist spot, it is merely a temple perched on a hillside by the banks of a Lan River. The river meanders gracefully, yet scarcely holds a place among the nation's celebrated landmarks. Nevertheless, it bore immense significance in Chen Xiao's heart. The ordinary scenery captivated him, for it was here that he shared beautiful memories with several young women, though some were merely friends. Wow, Xiaozi? Turning around, Chen Xiao exclaimed, Fanga, dude, why didn't you inform me you were back? That is quite inconsiderate, Jia Fan complained. Chen Xiao smiled and replied, there has been a bit of a situation at home, so I returned in a hurry. I was just about to reach out to you guys once I sorted things out. Jia Fan was his closest friend from high school, a bond so strong that it could be likened to one that could shield him from harm. Upon hearing this, Jia Fan's demeanor shifted. What happened? Do you need any assistance? It's nothing. Everything has been resolved, Chen Xiao reassured him. Jia Fan exhaled in relief. That's good to hear. If you need anything, just let me know. Don't shoulder it all alone. Understood, Fan Ge. Is Auntie at the temple? Jia Fan's mother was a devoted believer, otherwise he wouldn't visit Donglin Temple on a whim. Previously, whenever Chen Xiao returned home for holidays, a group of friends would gather here to reminisce about the past. Indeed, Jia Fan confirmed. Let us go greet Auntie. I'm craving her cooking. Jia Fan chuckled. If you want to eat, just come to my house. Why did you become so polite this year? Haha, all right, I'll visit another day. Meanwhile, Zhao Dahua, a security guard, had visited the hospital and reported back that Wang Li and his wife had been discharged. Zhao Dahua, a man of considerable girth, had worked up a sweat from a brief bout of vigorous activity, prompting him to lower the air conditioning and light a cigarette. Let us have Lawyer Wang get in touch with her. This minor issue should be manageable, he instructed. Yes, sir. At 6 in the evening, Chen Xiao bid farewell to Jia Fan, agreeing to reunite in a few days, and then return to the inn. Wang Li had been chatting with Lin Yanran all afternoon when she finally remembered to turn her phone back on. Just then, Lawyer Wang called. Hello, Wang Li. This is my final warning. If you refuse to sign the compensation agreement, brace yourself for a letter from my attorney. The raucous voice of Wang Li's counterfeit phone was unmistakable, inciting irritation in Lin Yanran, who was nearby. Annie, let me handle this, she declared as Wang Li, utterly clueless about legal matters, relinquished the phone to Lin Yanran. With a stern expression, Lin Yanran retorted, Hello, who is this? The voice on the other end hesitated. Taken aback. Isn't this Wang Li's number? This is indeed Ms. Wang Li's phone. However, her case is now under the full representation of Lawyer Zhang San from Quanta Law Firm. For any inquiries, please contact Lawyer Zhang. The attorney on the other end was somewhat bewildered. Was it not said that Wang Li was an uneducated rural woman, incapable of even recognizing a few characters? Surely, she would not know which way the law firm's door swings. As a lawyer, he was acutely aware of the case's trajectory, if it were to proceed to court. Zhao Dahua stood no chance. Presently, he was merely exploiting his power and Wang Li's ignorance of the law to coerce her into signing the compensation agreement. Lin Yanran coldly remarked, What's the matter? As a lawyer, you should not be so oblivious to your own case's details. I'll get back to Lawyer Zhang later, he stammered before abruptly ending the call. Wang Li wore a smile. The lawyer who had always terrified her had been rendered speechless by this young girl's sharp words. This girl is impressive. She truly takes action when it counts. After hanging up, Lin Yanran reassured Wang Li, Annie, do not fret, they are in the wrong here. Yes, all right. Yanran, who else is in your family? Huh? Wang Li's abrupt change of topic left Lin Yanran a bit bewildered. Upon hearing that Wang Li had sought legal counsel, Zhao Dahua was visibly distressed. Damn it, how could she possibly find a lawyer? Second uncle, what should we do now? Lu Jinping, who had just emerged from the office restroom, inquired. It's fine. If words fail, there are always other means, Zhao Dahua replied, knowing that in Lancheng he wielded considerable influence, and there were myriad ways to deal with an ordinary family like hers. Lu Jinping, without much concern, nestled closer to him. After Chen Xiao returned, they had a makeshift dinner at Longquan Hotel that evening. Setting aside the taste, this was the highest-rated establishment in Lancheng. With his son, now financially secure, Wang Li no longer meddled in his day-to-day expenditures. As long as the 20 million in the bank remained untouched, even if Chen Xiao failed in his ventures outside, he would have a fallback at home. At the dinner table, Chen Xiao inquired, When will the subsequent personnel arrive? Lei Yong replied, Boss, they will reach the provincial capital tomorrow. All right, tomorrow you and Yanran will head to the provincial capital and bring back a few vehicles. Chen Jiangwo hesitated, wanted to voice his thoughts, but ultimately refraining from meddling in his son's affairs. Though he had not received much formal education, he understood the principle that someone earning 3,000 a month should not interfere in the matters of those making billions. It would only complicate things. Understood, boss. Chen Xiao responded before asking, Dad, what car do you like? Chen Jingwo pondered, Well, a Xiaoli would be nice. All right, since you like the Xiaoli, let us fetch 2 Mercedes. Chen Jingwo what? After making arrangements, Chen Xiao recalled that the Nanshan ski resort should be nearing completion in 2010. Nestled halfway up the mountain, a cluster of villas had been constructed. In his previous life, he remembered that not a single unit had sold for several years. It was only when winter sports became fashionable that the prices of the villas at Nanshan skyrocketed. The resort was not only bustling in winter. During summer, its mild temperatures attracted many seeking refuge from the heat. Furthermore, Nanshan was later designated as a provincial-level natural scenic area, halting any further development. The villas became rare gems, making them exceedingly difficult to acquire, with prices soaring to unprecedented heights. Whether for investment or personal residence, they represented an ideal choice. Mom, Dad, after breakfast, let us rest. Tomorrow, I'll take you to view the properties, Chen Xiao suggested. Wang Li and Chen Jiangwo felt as though they were living in a dream, still grappling with the surreal nature of their circumstances. Just days ago, they had been fretting over a mere 100,000 yuan. Now, with their son's return, not only had their problems been resolved in an instant, but they were also on the cusp of acquiring a car and a home. Wang Li discreetly pinched her arm and touched the 2 million yuan bank card nestled in her pocket, struggling to accept this newfound reality. Chapter 145. The weight of breaking office romance. As night fell, many at the Longquan Hotel found themselves unable to sleep. Chen Xiao pondered the events of the following day. Lin Yinran lay on her bed, her legs playfully swinging in the air, lost in thought, a smile gracing her lips. Soon, a call from Su Tang came through. Lin Yinran quickly answered. Hello, President Su? How are things with the boss? All is well. Everything is going smoothly. Good. Take good care of the boss. And don't slack off. Hee, don't worry, Sister Su. Recalling their earlier conversation before the office relocation, Su Tang had inquired about Lin Yanran's well-being and received an affirmative response. Janran, Sultan continued. This is a rare opportunity for you to be alone with the boss. Make the most of it. What do you mean? Before Lin Yanran could hesitate, Su Tang pressed on. Yanran, what type of man do you prefer? Lin Yanran felt a turmoil within her. She had once admired the handsome athletes drenched in sweat on the field. Yet, after graduation, she witnessed her former idols bowing to the demands of life, often intoxicated and developing beer bellies, trapped in a mundane existence. Her youthful dreams of romance had been thoroughly shattered. It was only after joining Tung Xiao Capital that she encountered men who stood at the pinnacle of success. They exuded confidence and assertiveness, wielding the power to influence the fates of those around them. Regardless of the challenges they faced, they approached them with unwavering confidence, composed, carefree, and profound. Noticing her hesitation, Su Tang smiled knowingly and concluded, That's enough for now. Think it over. With that, she ended the call. Standing in the office of the general manager at Tung Xiao Capital, Su Tang bore a subtle smile, radiating an exquisite beauty. However, dark circles were evident beneath her eyes, and they were veiled with a network of red veins. Yanran, the responsibility of breaking the shackles of office romance now rests upon you. After finishing her words, she yawned and continued to study the knowledge about blockchain and cryptocurrency that Chen Xiao had assigned her. Lin Yanran hung up the phone, wavering her decision. Although her boss was kind, he had far too many women. However, upon reflection, it was precisely due to his numerous affairs that she found herself with an opportunity. In the sultry night, the exquisite female subordinate from the small-town hotel eventually knocked on her boss's door. Chen Xiao, gazing at Lin Yanran's bashful face, inquired with curiosity. What brings you here at such a late hour? The courage she had mustered in the room dissipated the moment she reached the door. Lin Yanran fidgeted, struggling to articulate a coherent sentence. Under Chen Xiao's intense gaze, she felt overwhelmed and finally managed to say, I came to see if you need anything else from me. Chen Xiao glanced at his phone. It was 1:30 in the morning. What could there possibly be at this hour? Why don't you come and warm my bed? Lin Yanran's cheeks flushed a deep crimson. Lowering her head, she softly replied, Is that permissible? Chen Xiao playfully poked her smooth, fair forehead with his finger, teasing. What thoughts occupy that little head of yours? Hurry back to bed and accompany me to buy a house tomorrow. Lin Yanran, taken aback by the poke, stepped back a couple of paces, pouting in response. With a crestfallen expression, she returned to her room. Chen Xiao smiled knowingly. He understood the girl's feelings, but he recognized that a woman must be a woman, and work must remain work. There were plenty of women if he desired companionship, but he preferred to keep personal emotions separate from professional matters, unless he couldn't help himself. However, that night, Chen Xiao managed to restrain himself. The circumstances and his preoccupied mind contributed to Lin Yanran narrowly escaping a predicament. The next morning, Chen Xiao was awakened by Wang Li's incessant knocking at the door. As expected, there would be no chance to sleep in after returning home. Reluctantly, he got up, enduring her relentless chatter while having breakfast. Although the hotel was somewhat shabby, one could not deny that the small-town breakfast still retained the flavors of his memories. The grains cultivated from the rich black soil possessed an exceptionally rich and robust taste. Chun Xiao savored 2 bowls of millet porridge and devoured 5 or 6 large meat buns before finally setting down his chopsticks with satisfaction. Let's head to Lanshan, Wang Li said. Aren't you going to return the rental car? It costs a fortune per day. It's fine. My father's health hasn't fully recovered yet, so he needs the car for his back-and-forth trips. Besides, I'll be taking him back to our hometown today. It costs a lot to stay in the city every day. Chun Xiao was at a loss for words. Didn't I give you 20 million? Wang Li covered her pocket and replied, that 20 million is reserved for you to marry a wife, not to be squandered. No one is getting a cent from it. Chun Xiao sighed. What if I give you another 10 million? Wang Li nodded enthusiastically. Sure, bring it on. Chun Xiao asked, will you spend it? No, I'll save it for you. In case your business fails, this money will come in handy and won't hinder your marriage prospects. Chun Xiao exclaimed. You truly are like my mother, who hoped for my failure. All is well, and success in one's career is undoubtedly a positive outcome. However, I have heard that engaging in business entails considerable risks. So be it. Although Wang Li possesses a strong personality, she's yet unable to dictate Chun Xiao's actions. Moments later, a group of individuals departed from the hotel in 3 vehicles, heading towards Nanlan Mountain. The Nanlan Mountain Ski Resort, despite its location in a small town, is undeniably a provincial-level project, boasting exceptionally well-developed infrastructure. The broadest and most meticulously constructed roads in the entire county are found here. The Villa District is situated on the southern slope of the mountain, surrounded by picturesque scenery and exquisite surroundings. At the foot of the mountain, the Lan River meanders gracefully. Originally, this auspicious site was intended for the establishment of a large-scale high-end cemetery. However, the proposal was rejected by higher authorities, leading to the development of a ski resort and natural holiday area instead. In the future, this ski resort will attract numerous tourists from across the nation and even the world every winter. Consequently, Lanjian County will embark on a path towards poverty alleviation and prosperity. Nevertheless, all of this will transpire a few years hence. At present, while the infrastructure is complete, there is not a soul in sight. At the mountain's foot, the ski resort's accompanying hotels and various recreational facilities are nearly finished. Judging by the standards, they have been established according to municipal criteria, far surpassing the dilapidated buildings in the county. The vehicles ascended along the mountain road, and soon entered the Villa District nestled halfway up the slope. Here, it is akin to a forest oxygen bar, with exquisite villas scattered amidst lush greenery, truly a splendid sanctuary for health and leisure. The vehicles circled extensively within the community. Chun Xiao nodded to himself. What a splendid place. The real estate company had long dispatched personnel to await their arrival. In July's sweltering heat, the city is stifling, yet here, there's a refreshing breeze. Upon seeing the arrival of 3 vehicles, the salesperson's eyes widened. Initially expecting yet another curious visitor, they were taken aback to discover that these individuals possessed genuine means. Of course, he had no inkling that the 3 vehicles Chun Xiao had arrived in were all rentals. Chapter 146. Forget it, don't look at me anymore. After disembarking, Wang Li whispered, Son, are you considering purchasing a property here? Let us just take a casual look. Although her son had acquired wealth, Wang Li was reluctant to let him spend excessively on his parents, stating, in our household, it's just your father and me. A 2-bedroom apartment will suffice. You can return home occasionally. If you develop in Jining, you should buy a spacious house for your marriage. Chun Xiao mused to himself. Don't hold your breath for that marriage, but perhaps I might arrange for a pretend fiancé. No way. How can I live in a 2-bedroom apartment after getting married? Why not? How long can you stay at home anyway? The child will be with me, and your father can sleep on the sofa, while the other room can accommodate you too. Listening to Wang Li's clear-cut arrangements, Chun Zhangwo glanced at his still-recovering legs. The doctor had said. Wang Li shot him a glare, prompting Chun Zhangwo to quickly amend. The doctor said sleeping on the sofa is beneficial for an early rise. Chun Xiao, feeling helpless, knew he couldn't bear to spend excessively on them. Cultivating his parents' spending habits would require time. That Chun Xiao forgot the salesperson's name. Lin Yinran promptly reminded. His surname is Li. Xiao Li, could you come here for a moment? Sighed boss. As you approached, the 2 of them were momentarily taken aback. You are a fragment of Chun Zhao's memory, somewhat hazy after a decade. Yet, the recollection of their sales interactions remains vividly clear, tracing back to their high school days. Chun Xiao. Chun Xiao furrowed his brow. You seem quite familiar. The salesperson trembled nervously, his mind preoccupied, utterly devoid of thoughts about selling houses in this desolate wilderness. He incessantly murmured to himself, forget me, I am but a shadow. Suddenly, with a slap to his forehead, Chun Xiao exclaimed, Oh, I remember now. The salesperson felt a chill run down his spine. Your name is Lee Sinew, correct? Chun, Brother Chun, I was wrong, he stammered. What error? After all, during our high school days, I did give you quite a beating. Indeed, that group fight was a peculiar incident. Chen Xiao had seemed indifferent to the chaos around him, fixating solely on Lee Sinew, whom he relentlessly pummeled. The outcome left them sharing a hospital room for an entire week. Every night, Lee Sinew fretted over whether this fellow would spring up in the middle of the night for another round. Brother Chun, back then, I was merely trying to join the fray. I truly apologize. In light of the current situation, anyone would find it challenging to maintain their bravado. The explosive muscles and menacing scars of Lei Ting and Lei Yong, exposed beneath their short sleeves, were intimidating to behold. Chun Xiao waved his hand dismissively. I understand. Those are bygone days. Aren't you still in school? Lee Sinew, relieved by Chun Xiao's lack of interest in the past, replied honestly, I didn't pass the entrance exam. After graduation, I started working. Brother Chun, I genuinely admire you. Not only were you formidable in fights, but you also helped your friends gain admission to university. Chun Xiao remarked, fighting is one thing, but let us not jest about education. Indeed, I never grasped the balance between studying and having fun, which is why I failed to get into any school, Lee Sinew admitted. That's all right. Success comes in many forms. Like you, even without further education. You've embarked on a career and begun earning. Just look at me. Don't look at me, lest I fall into despair, Lee Sinew replied. You speak truthfully, Brother Chun. I do enjoy selling houses. My dream is to earn a good income in these years, then return to my hometown and invest in properties to rent out in the future. Chun Zhao's eyes brightened. That's commendable, my brother. Where's your hometown? Lee Sinew answered. I hail from Hugong. Chun Xiao exclaimed, impressive. The property prices in your hometown are possibly the most stable in the country. A 50 to 80 square meter house there costs merely 30 to 50,000 yuan, which is even cheaper than now. Indeed, that is 30 to 50,000 for an entire unit, not per square meter. To support this ambitious dream, Chun Xiao, even in the sweltering heat, was reluctant to switch salespeople. He redirected his focus back to the Villa district. How is this development selling? After this exchange, Lee Sinew realized that his former classmate had indeed thrived. He refrained from clinging to the past and couldn't help but admire Chun Xiao's newfound wealth and vision. When Chun Xiao inquired about the development, Lee Sinew assumed he sought basic information about Lanshan Villa and began to elaborate. Initially, Chun Xiao paid little attention to the lengthy discourse on provincial-level key tourism zone planning, for he possessed far more knowledge than Lee Sinew, who merely relied on hearsay. Sensing Chun Zhao's lack of interest in the ancillary aspects, Lee Sinew began to elaborate on the real estate project. LNSHN, a tourism town project meticulously crafted by the leading real estate enterprise Yike Group, comprises 12 independent villas and 24 townhouses, in addition to a grand villa occupying 5,000 square meters with a construction area of 1,000 square meters, which overlooks the entire LN County. Standing by the window, one can distinctly view the entire ski resort. Its location and vista are nothing short of exceptional. Intrigued by this grand villa, Chun Xiao inquired, is it truly as remarkable as it sounds? Take me to see it. Lee Sinew enthusiastically replied, absolutely. Aside from its high price, it has no flaws. As they proceeded towards the villa, Chun Xiao marveled at its grandeur. The entire structure embodies a Nordic garden style, with the surrounding yard featuring meticulously maintained flat grass, resembling a lush green carpet that seamlessly integrates with the LNSH and scenery. Even more impressive, at the center of the yard lies a swimming pool filled with natural spring water that flows continuously from mountains, cascading through the pool before descending further down. Brother Chun, look, it's fully furnished, the entire house and yard for 3.5 million. Chun Xiao was taken aback by the price before even viewing the decor. How much? 3.5 million? Is that the down payment? Lee Sinew chuckled. Brother Chun, are you joking? A 3.5 million down payment would buy you a large apartment in the metropolis. This villa in our small county is far less expensive. Were it not for Chun Zhao's 3 cars valued at over $1 million today, he would not have considered the necessity of introducing the grand villa. In his past life, he had never imagined affording such a property. Hence, he had never researched the price trends of this nationally renowned project. He only recalled a news report about the chairman of a publicly listed group purchasing a vacation villa worth $500 million at LNSH and SHUN. While the news may have gone unnoticed by outsiders, it had become a topic of conversation among the locals of LN County, with nearly everyone being aware of it. Chun Xiao surmised that the villa mentioned in the news was likely this very one. Curious, he asked Li Xinyu, how many villas do you have in total? Oh, 12 plus 24 plus one grand villa, a total of 37. Chun Xiao nodded. All right, I'll take one. Li Xinyu's face immediately lit up with joy. Let us go, Brother Chun. Which one do you fancy? Chun Xiao smiled. No need to look. Contact your company's general manager. Li Xinyu's expression froze, filled with confusion. Cough, Brother Chun. Why not purchase directly through me? I can offer you the lowest discount. If the transaction were made through the general manager, his commission would be substantially reduced. Chun Xiao chuckled. Your authority is insufficient. Hurry and make the call. He also instructed Lin Yanran to come over and asked Su Tang to arrange for someone to liaise with the general manager of the LNSH and SHUN project, indicating that if the price was right, they would acquire all of them. Understood, boss, Lin Yanran responded obediently. The boss at home would find it utterly unremarkable to purchase an entire residential community, or even half a county. However, Li Xinyu is an entirely different story. After 2 years in the business, he has encountered every type of client imaginable. Yet, this is the first time he has met someone intent on acquiring an entire villa complex. Moreover, this particular development, Lanshan Villa, boasts the highest property prices in the county. Brother Chun, are you truly jesting with me? Chun Xiao, who was idly staring at his phone, casually remarked, hurry up and make the call. I've no time to amuse you. Suddenly, hidden information on his phone refreshed. Unlike the recent trends, today it revealed a surge in market activity, more substantial and complex than before. From July 2nd to July 19th, Daeong Group experienced a cumulative decline of 10.7. From July 20th to July 30th, it saw a cumulative increase of 35. From July 31st to August 28th, it faced a cumulative decline of 55. The market for Daeong Group has commenced today. Chun Xiao was utterly bewildered. What on earth is happening with Daeong Group? Chun Xiao merely thought to himself, whether Daeong Group survives or not is of no concern to him. Yet, its stock price trajectory holds significant implications for him. Iran, please compile a report on Daeong Group. Certainly, Lin Iran replied, retrieving her phone. Boss, there's no signal on the mountain. Chun Xiao was speechless. Turning to Li Xinyu. Li Xinyu, feeling embarrassed, coughed. The base station hasn't been constructed yet, but rest assured, I'll have the company contact the telecommunications firm, and it will be completed within 3 days. Chun Xiao thought, how can I possibly wait that long? Every minute is money for me. In 3 days, I could have earned enough for several Lanshan villas. He concluded with a firm directive. Make sure to expedite the connection with my company's personnel before hastily entering the car. Let us go down a mountain. Wang Li was somewhat dazed, completely unaware that Chun Xiao had already secured the entire project. Take care, Brother Chun. When you have the time, I'll treat you, Li Xinyu began, but before he could finish, the lead car accelerated away. Li Xinyu clicked his tongue and sighed. Once a classmate from school, he now felt he lacked even the qualification to treat him to a meal. Fortunately, his old friend bore no grudges and had bestowed upon him a substantial business opportunity. Although his commission would be significantly reduced, it was still a considerable sum. In truth, it was merely luck. Regardless of whether the visitor was Li Xinyu, Wang Xinyu, or anyone else, it would not sway Chun Zhao's decision to purchase the development. He had no time to waste negotiating with another individual. In that time, he could potentially earn back the funds needed for the property. The vehicle sped down the mountain, tires screeching against the pavement. Iran, keep in contact with Su Tang. Yes, boss, but there is still no signal. Damn it. Soon, I'll ensure the entire county is equipped with base stations. In this year of 3G, the number of base stations is far inferior to those in later generations. In remote areas, even communication poses a challenge. Suddenly, Chun Zhao's phone signal flickered. Stop, he shouted loudly, and old Lu immediately reduced speed. The car behind, carrying Chun Jiangwo, could not go fast and had already disappeared from sight. What's wrong, boss? Turn back, there was a signal interruption just now. Understood. Old Lu turned the car around and slowly headed back. Finally, at an intersection, Chun Zhao's phone displayed a single bar of signal. Stop right here. Chun Xiao quickly climbed onto the roof of the car, raising his phone, now showing 2 bars of signal. Without hesitation, he immediately dialed Su Tang's number. Just then, a tractor sped toward them from a distance. Besides the driver, there were 2 burly men looking anxious. They began shouting from afar, urging everyone to clear the way. At that moment, Chun Zhao's call connected, and he raised his hand to signal his subordinates to handle the situation, then briefed Su Tang. Su Tang, immediately have the trading department monitor Ocean Group. based on today's opening price. Start accumulating shares when it drops by 5 points until the 19th. Buy as much as possible. Hello, boss. Chen Xiao. The signal was poor, and the noise around made it hard for Su Tang to hear. Chen Xiao frowned in frustration and said, "Make them quiet immediately." Lei Yong and Lei Ting were about to take action when they were held back by Lin Yanran. Wait. Using force will only cause trouble. Afterward, she stepped forward, carrying a package, and said, "Gentlemen, could you please be quiet?" The three burly men, red-faced and stout, were about to retort, but Lin Yanran pulled out a stack of red bills from her pocket, causing their words to catch in their throats. However, contrary to their expectations, Lin Yanran extracted 200 from the stack and handed it over, asking, "Could you be quiet, sir?" The three responded, "Little girl, I feel you are insulting me. If these calves don't get medical attention soon, they'll die, and they're worth several thousand." One of the men shouted, Yeah, that guy on the roof. Stop pretending and get down to clear the road." Seeing them raise their voices again, Lin Yanran quickly proffered another stack of money. The men were momentarily stunned. Ready to speak, Lin Yanran pulled out another bundle and said, "Sir, if you turn off the engine and remain quiet for 10 minutes, this 20,000 will be yours." The three stared wide-eyed, immediately shutting off the engine and falling silent. No calf was worth 20,000 after all. Chen Xiao gave Lin Yanran a thumbs up in satisfaction. And after repeating his instructions, Su Tang finally understood. She immediately had her team spring into action. "Boss, Ocean Group has already dropped below 5 points at the opening. We can buy now." "Excellent. Keep it up, but remain discreet to avoid impacting the stock price too much." "Understood. Don't worry, boss. Ocean Group has a market value of over 100 billion, with 85 of its shares in circulation. The trading volume is active, so our accumulation is progressing smoothly." "Good. Keep me updated on any developments. Is everything going well on your end, boss?" "It's fine. Things are being taken care of." "Oh, how is Yanran doing?" Su Tang inquired. Chen Xiao found it odd. "She's doing well. Why do you ask?" "Oh, it's nothing, boss. You go ahead and focus on the Ocean Group." Feeling perplexed, Chen Xiao replied, "All right, I'll hang up." Chapter 148. These are two lives. Chen Xiao hung up the phone and leaped down from the roof of the car. The business vehicle that had been trailing behind arrived shortly thereafter. Three burly men appeared somewhat anxious, for they distinctly noticed that Lin Yanran's handbag was stuffed with bundles of cash. In this day and age, carrying such a substantial amount of cash was not the hallmark of an ordinary individual. They were merely common farmers. Yet the opposing party not only drove two luxury cars, but also had another vehicle that seemed to belong to the same group. "Perhaps we should return this money to you," the leading man said, his voice betraying a hint of guilt. Chen Xiao glanced at the tractor, where two calves lay on the verge of death, likely unable to survive until they reached the veterinary station. He extracted another bundle of money from Lin Yanran's bag and stuffed it into the man's hands. "I apologize. I had an urgent matter requiring a mobile signal and could not move the vehicle. Consider this money as compensation." To Chen Xiao, several tens of thousands of yuan were inconsequential. Had he informed Su Tang a few minutes earlier, the potential profits would have reached into the millions. However, the three farmers remained unaware that the 30,000 yuan they held far exceeded the value of the calves. Feeling somewhat uneasy, one of them suggested, "How about I just take 10,000? Chen Xiao merely smiled and said nothing, turning to return to the car. Shortly thereafter, the three vehicles set off, maintaining a steady pace towards the county town. "Brother, who are these people? Are there really such formidable figures in our county?" One of the men inquired. "Look at that license plate. It's from the provincial city. Not ordinary at all. Indeed, this young man is domineering. Yet he conducts his affairs with a sense of propriety and generosity. Should we still head to the veterinary station?" The leading man glanced back at the two calves, pitifully injured beneath the collapsed barn. "Alas, it's a shame. They likely won't survive." The other two men perked up, asking, "Brother, should we braise them in soy sauce or make a red braised dish?" The leading man shot them a sharp look. "Get lost. These are two living beings, not yet deceased. However, we might as well buy some barbecue supplies to prepare, just in case." Upon returning to the county town, Lei Yong and Lin Yanran set off for the provincial city to pick someone up and buy a car. Chen Xiao pondered for a moment before saying to Wang Li, "Mom, why don't you and Dad head back to the hotel first? I'll go out for a bit. Please hand me your ID." Wang Li looked puzzled but complied, asking, "What do you need my ID for?" Chen Xiao replied, "It's useful. No need to ask. Just enjoy yourselves with Dad." Wang Li, still concerned, offered a few words of caution. Chen Xiao and Lei Ting then got into the car and slowly departed from the hotel. Chen Xiao was preoccupied with another matter. With money now in hand, his mother would undoubtedly begin to pressure him about marriage after graduation. Yet, he had no intention of ever marrying. It seemed he needed to devise a strategy to circumvent this issue in advance. But how? Would he really have to arrange for a fake wife? Boss, where are we headed? Oh, to Oasis Garden. Understood. Lei Ting did not inquire about the purpose of their visit. He had memorized the map of Lan County over the past few days and was well aware of the location of the upscale community, Oasis Garden. Upon arriving at the entrance of the community, Chun Xiao alighted from the car in front of the sales office. Oasis Garden, a project completed last year, boasts an excellent location, supporting facilities, and greenery. However, its sales have been disappointing as the price of 200 per square meter offers no advantage over the average price of 500 per square meter in Lan County. It was a rare occasion when a potential buyer alighted from a luxury car, prompting the saleswoman to swiftly approach him. There was no need for careful examination. The aura surrounding Chun Xiao spoke volumes. Sir, are you interested in multi-story residences? She inquired. Chun Xiao remarked, the 4-story villa at the southernmost end seems quite appealing. The saleswoman smiled. You truly have an eye for detail, sir. This building has just been released today, with units ranging from 80 to 120 square meters. Chun Xiao chose not to expose a ruse. After all, which new release could happen on this day? During a time when the real estate market had yet to become overheated, sales were not as frenzied as they would be in the years to come. Once the pre-sale certificate was obtained, one could purchase any building without the notion of withholding sales. Are there discounts for buying multiple units? Chun Xiao inquired. The saleswoman was momentarily taken aback. She often heard this in wholesale markets, but rarely in a sales office. Yes, of course, sir. How many units would you like? The saleswoman asked eagerly. How many units are available in this villa? Chun Xiao questioned. The saleswoman's heart raced as she excitedly replied. This 4-story villa has a total of 8 units, with a combined area of 800 square meters, all exquisitely decorated and ready for immediate occupancy. She looked at Chun Xiao with anticipation. Chun Xiao, not wishing to disappoint her, pondered before uttering the words she longed to hear. All right, if the price is right, I will take them all. The saleswoman's beautiful eyes sparkled with joy, and her demeanor instantly brightened. Sir, please have a seat. I will fetch the manager right away. Chun Xiao nodded, and soon the manager hurried over, ushering Chun Xiao into his office with utmost hospitality. He presented a sincere offer of 3,000 per square meter for 800 square meters, totaling 4 million. Additionally, the 5 or 6 parking spaces at the entrance would be included, along with 5 years of property management fees. While Chun Xiao was indifferent to these perks, he appreciated the seller's sincerity. He handed over his ID to the saleswoman and made a swift payment. The saleswoman was elated. If only Chun Xiao would lean in slightly, she would not hesitate to give him a kiss. The sale of 4 million would earn her a commission of several tens of thousands, a sum equivalent to her annual salary. Ultimately, Chun Xiao did not grant her that opportunity, as she fell short in the looks department, barely reaching an 80 in beauty. Perhaps it was merely his fate today, having avoided the enchanting saleswoman in the sales office, only to encounter a captivating young lady outside, Su Xiaolan. Startled by someone calling her, Su Xiaolan paused and then recognized Chun Xiao. Breaking into a smile, Chun Xiao, what a coincidence. Are you on break? In his past life, only 2 women had truly captured Chun Xiao's heart. The first was Su Xiaolan, the sole beacon of light in his youth, who had wounded him deeply. The second was Tan Sheng, a goddess who was forever out of reach. Due to the profound hurt inflicted by Su Xiaolan, Chun Xiao found his courage to pursue romantic interest diminished when he encountered captivating women years later. However, these were merely remnants of regrets from his past life. In this lifetime, everything has changed. He is no longer the timid, bewildered youth nor the overworked individual solely focused on survival. Gazing into Su Xiaolan's bright, enchanting eyes, Chun Xiao smiled and said, Indeed, it's a coincidence to run into you here during the holidays. Su Xiaolan replied, I haven't returned to Lan County in a long time, so I thought I would come and take a look. Her voice remained as melodious and clear as ever, each note resonating within Chun Xiao's very being. Su Xiaolan's beauty was effortlessly captivating, her features exquisitely refined. Despite her modest background and lack of expensive cosmetics, her skin retained a delicate, porcelain-like quality reminiscent of an infant's softness. With every smile and frown, she was utterly enchanting, akin to a lily poised to bloom, fresh, elegant, and serene. Chapter 149. See you in court tomorrow. The emotional entanglement